I'm hoping that it comes out right because I've never done this before. It's actually a cloudy morning today. So I like to take breaks in between my main pieces, and how I do that is by painting something else that is fun, maybe something that I saw that I would like to paint, or just an interesting image or experiments. These are usually smaller in size. Before I go into bigger paintings, that would be my main body of work. I started painting this couple months back and I was stuck. Wasn't really sure how to finish it. So I just put it aside, and so I'm back to it, and I have an idea of what I want to do for this painting, which is just, I low-key don't know, but the idea is just to merge abstraction and realism painting. And so the portrait itself, her face, is realistic, and then the background of it, she's actually wearing a mask. And I want to make that part very textured, heavily textured. I've never painted with a palette knife before, but today is the day. I'm hoping that it comes out right because I've never done this before. The first thing I'm going to do is create a sort of shadow. Now I know that the exterior part, like the actual mask, is going to be abstract, but I think it's just going to merge a bit better if I just add a darker tone right here to display some kind of shadow to make it seem like she's actually wearing this thing. So that's what I'm going to mix right now. I'm going to be using the red for the exterior, the mask, and then I'm going to use this. I've never mixed acrylic skin tone before, so this will also be my first time. I think I'm going to use the color amber, burnt umber, I said amber, burnt umber, and a little bit of black, and I'm gonna see how that comes out. Please try to ignore my my palette. I haven't cleaned it. Actually, I've never cleaned this palette now I think about it. That's crazy. But I'm definitely going to clean it after this painting because it's piling up. So I just dab a little bit of the black and mix. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of acrylic paints. I honestly admire artists that paint with acrylic and make it look so good because it's so difficult for me. Maybe I'm just used to the slow pace of oil paint and how it just dries. I just love the texture of it, and I love that I can play around with it. Just more fluid and flexible for me. But with acrylics, like once it's done, it's done. And it dries so freaking fast. I do not like that. Because I painted this with oil and not acrylic, I'm very limited in the pigments. Actually, I have a couple acrylic paints, and so I'm just trying to get the tone as close to the painting as possible. So what I do is just put it next to the painting and see if that works. Now it looks very close, but I need it darker, so I'm just gonna add a bit more of the black, and not too much. I think going slowly and observing the tone of it is the best way to go, because one time I thought it wasn't gonna get any darker because I kept adding black, and then I added a big chunk of black and it was just black. So you definitely don't want to make that mistake. I was still mad that day because that was a lot of paint, and it's oil paint. Those are expensive. Okay, since this is the shadow and she's pretty dark in complexion, I'm going to add a lot more black to make it look like a shadow. Okay, can't show this. I don't want to keep moving the camera. But all I did was just add a bit more black. And this is the tone that we're working with now. This one right here. So I'm gonna give it another look. This light, I don't know. I think still brown. I have to add more black to this. And also the reason why I'm using acrylic for this part is because I want it to dry really fast, and it's not an intricate or detailed part of the painting, so it's just convenient if I have a quicker drying time, especially with the heavily textured mask. So that would be very helpful. Plus, who wants to waste a big chunk of oil? That's too much. Y'all, I think I'm gonna add way more black in here. It's not darker than her skin tone. Okay, let's see. Now, honestly, this is just the painting process. You just have to keep going. I think this can work. Honestly, I think getting the color right takes more time for me. Mixing and looking at a picture, like my photo reference, those two take more time than the actual painting. I know that sounds crazy, but because this is also realism, I have to really focus and make sure I'm getting the colors, the tones, the hues right, and all the details right. So this takes more time to observe. Now that I've gotten the tone right, I feel like I'm not close enough. Now that we're done with the shadow, it's time for the fun part. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I would twerk right now, but my ass is too lazy to get up from this chair. But I just got one more subscriber. Ah, I love y'all. Okay, now time for the exciting part and the nerve-wracking part. Because you already know how it is when you have a nice painting that you really, really like, and then you're moved to try something that you've never tried before. Yeah. Honestly, that's bold. People that take risks and experiment with their paintings, I admire y'all. Okay, let's do this. How do I do this? I've never watched a process video for palette knife paintings. I kind of like to go through the process and see things for myself and learn things as I go. So everything I'm doing is practically self-taught. And I'm going to do that with this palette knife painting too. So I think what I'm going to do for this is first paint everywhere red, just so I don't have to use that much paint in creating the texture, like trying to close the gaps, if I'm making any sense. So I'm first going to do that, then I will begin to add on the texture. First, let me even see if this is the paint that I want to use and how it looks on the canvas. Ah, that's so red. Okay, I like it, yeah. Oh my God. Yo. Okay. Let me have some faith. Let me have some faith. Let me have some faith. I'm not doing this alone. God is here with me. Man, if no, let me be optimistic. This could very well turn out to be one of my best paintings ever. So, let me stay positive. I wonder if my phone is still recording. Let me check on my phone. Hold on 1 second. Okay, we're back in business. Bruh, the struggles of recording on 2 freaking devices. Hi. Maybe this was not a good idea. It's disrupting my flow too much. This is actually an interesting concept. I'm tempted to just, I don't know, do the perimeters and just scribble. Just, I don't know, but it kind of looks creepy in that way. And I don't like creepy art. So, I guess not. Well, I guess, is it really creepy though? That actually looks like a shadow. There we go. Ah! Hey. I had to add like a perimeter around. So good. I'm actually loving this. By the time I add the texture, that's what I'm gonna say. Time for the palette knife. Ooh, I have an idea. What if I make some parts lighter and some parts darker? I just want to add a little bit of depth to this. So I'm going to make some parts a bit lighter. So I'm gonna do that.